You spent $60 on a ribeye. You dry brined it overnight, let it come to room temperature, seared it in a smoking hot cast iron pan with tallow, basted it with butter and thyme, and rested it on a warm plate while the pan sauce came together. And now, someone at the table reaches for a $12 bottle of premium steak sauce with a leather-textured label and an embossed coat of arms, ready to drown your work in a condiment that costs almost as much as the wine you served with dinner. Take a breath. Put the bottle down. Tonight, we investigate why several premium steak sauce brands currently retailing at double or triple the price of traditional options are not delivering proportional value, why the ingredient differentiation rarely justifies the markup, and why some of the most respected kitchens in the country either make their own finishing sauces or use modestly priced alternatives that deliver comparable or superior results. This is not about dismissing all premium condiments. This is about equipping your family to distinguish between genuine craft and marketing theater, in a category where the gap between price and substance has widened substantially in recent years. The authority framework for examining steak sauce pricing begins with understanding the traditional composition of the condiment. Classic steak sauces emerged in 19th century England and America as tangy, slightly sweet, umami-rich accompaniments to grilled meats, using ingredients like tomatoes, vinegar, tamarind, molasses, anchovies, spices, and sometimes raisins or dates for natural sweetness. The FDA regulates condiment labeling under standard food identity rules and requires accurate ingredient disclosure. The USDA Agricultural Research Service has published analyses of common condiment categories, noting that production costs for the base ingredients of steak sauce are relatively modest, with tomato paste, vinegar, sugar or molasses, and spices representing a small fraction of retail price. Premium pricing in the steak sauce category therefore derives largely from packaging, brand positioning, distribution, and occasionally from genuine ingredient upgrades such as higher-grade vinegars, aged fish sauces, or specialty peppers. Cooks Illustrated, America's Test Kitchen, and other independent food publications have conducted blind tastings of steak sauces across price tiers over the years, and results have often found that mid-priced traditional brands perform competitively against premium upstarts. A 2023 consumer report published by an independent food testing organization noted that price correlation with sensory performance in the steak sauce category was weak, with several premium options scoring below mid-tier competitors in blind evaluation. This sets the stage for examining specific premium brands and whether their price positions are earned. The first premium brand in question is the artisanal steak sauce sold in weighted glass bottles at specialty grocers, commanding nearly $14 for a modest size. The marketing invokes traditional craftsmanship and small batch production. The ingredient list reveals tomato paste, vinegar, raisin paste, tamarind, soy sauce, salt, spices, and xanthan gum. Compare this to a classic national brand steak sauce that has been produced for over a century, retailing around $5 for a comparable size. The ingredient list is remarkably similar in structure, with slight variations in specific spice blend and the use of xanthan gum in the premium version, rather than the modified cornstarch in the mainstream version. The flavor differentiation in blind taste testing has been subtle, and for many palates, the premium version does not decisively outperform the mainstream alternative. The price premium of $9 per bottle accumulates substantially over a year of household steak nights and represents value that may not be proportional to the ingredient upgrade. The second brand is the bourbon-infused steak sauce, positioned as a sophisticated adult condiment. The bourbon content is typically minimal, often listed after water and vinegar, contributing a subtle sweetness and aromatic note. At $12 per bottle, the incremental bourbon flavor is paying for a small quantity of commodity bourbon that could be purchased and added to a mainstream steak sauce at home for a fraction of the cost. Brand 3 is the smoked steak sauce marketed with imagery of wood fire and barrel aging. The smoke flavor is commonly produced using liquid smoke, a legitimate ingredient with standard food safety regulation, or using smoke-infused ingredients sourced from industrial smoking operations. Either approach is capable of delivering authentic smoke character, but neither requires the premium pricing the brand commands. A consumer seeking smoked flavor can add a few drops of quality liquid smoke to a mainstream steak sauce at negligible cost. The fourth brand is the peppercorn steak sauce, positioned at a premium tier with references to specific peppercorn varieties from exotic origins. Some premium peppercorn varieties do command elevated prices at the wholesale level, but the quantity required to flavor a bottle of steak sauce is small, and the ingredient cost differential rarely justifies a doubling or tripling of retail price. The fifth brand is the Heritage Recipe steak sauce, marketed with 19th century styling and claims of original formulation. Heritage claims deserve scrutiny because the regulatory framework does not require substantiation of historical continuity. A brand can reformulate substantially while maintaining heritage marketing, and the consumer has limited means to verify authenticity. Some heritage brands genuinely honor their historical formulations with integrity. Others use the vintage aesthetic as a premium positioning device without corresponding substance. Brand 6 is the celebrity chef-endorsed steak sauce, sold at a premium price point, leveraging the culinary reputation of a well-known figure to justify pricing. The ingredient list may or may not reflect meaningful differentiation from mainstream competitors, and the consumer is paying for the celebrity association as much as for the product itself. Some chef-endorsed products deliver genuine recipe development and quality sourcing. Others are licensing arrangements where the chef's name is attached to a product developed by the manufacturer with limited chef involvement. Distinguishing between these requires research beyond what the label provides. The seventh brand is the luxury gift-positioned steak sauce, sold in ornate packaging at specialty retailers, priced at over $20 per bottle and marketed as a housewarming gift or gourmet presentation item. The gift positioning commands a significant price premium that has little to do with the actual sauce quality. In blind tasting, these gift-tier products rarely outperform mid-priced alternatives. The packaging drives the perceived value, and the recipient often receives a product that costs the giver $20 but delivers $5 of actual culinary substance. The anatomy of a good steak sauce deserves explanation because understanding what makes the condiment succeed clarifies where premium pricing can be earned and where it cannot. Acidity is central. A good steak sauce balances vinegar or fermented acid with sweetness and umami to create a bright counterpoint to rich grilled meat. The quality of the acid matters. Premium aged vinegars, sherry vinegars, and balsamic vinegars can genuinely elevate a sauce when used thoughtfully. Cheap distilled white vinegar with caramel color added can mimic the visual but lacks the complexity. Umami comes from sources like anchovy, tamarind, aged soy sauce, and fermented vegetables. High-quality umami sources can be more expensive to source and can justify modest price premiums when used authentically. Sweetness should come from natural sources like molasses, dates, raisins, or honey, each contributing distinct character. Corn syrup and refined sugar can substitute cheaply, but deliver a flatter sweetness without the depth of traditional sweeteners. Spice complexity depends on freshness and quality, with freshly ground peppercorns, quality paprika, and well-sourced spice blends contributing to finish. These are the elements that can legitimately justify paying more for a steak sauce. Packaging, celebrity names, and heritage claims are the elements that often cannot. Research on sodium and sugar content in commercial steak sauces is worth considering when evaluating overall value. Many steak sauces, including premium options, deliver 200 to 300 milligrams of sodium per tablespoon, along with 2 to 5 grams of sugar. Studies in the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics have noted that condiment sodium accumulates meaningfully in American diets, and condiments marketed as premium do not systematically deliver lower sodium or sugar than mainstream alternatives. A premium bottle may carry the same cardiovascular load as a mainstream bottle at a much higher price. This is relevant information for households managing hypertension or metabolic concerns. Checking the nutrition facts panel alongside the ingredient list provides a fuller picture than the marketing front of the label allows. The WHO recommends adults consume less than 5 grams of sodium per day, and studies suggest that sodium reduction is one of the most impactful dietary interventions for cardiovascular risk at the population level. Premium steak sauces are not exempt from this consideration simply because they cost more. There is something worth saying about the relationship between a great steak and a great steak sauce. A properly prepared cut of beef, sourced from quality producers, aged appropriately and cooked with attention, does not need a condiment to rescue it. Many professional chefs and dedicated home cooks consider heavy saucing of a well-prepared steak to obscure the craft rather than enhance it. A simple finishing salt, a pat of compound butter, or a quick pan sauce built from the fond in the cooking vessel can elevate a steak without requiring a bottled product at all. The premium steak sauce category has in some sense been selling a problem consumers did not need to solve, convincing home cooks that grilled meat requires an expensive condiment to be complete. The truth is more liberating. A good steak, a sprinkle of flaky salt, perhaps a squeeze of lemon or a drop of high-quality olive oil, and you have the beginnings of a meal that needs nothing more. The sauce can be a choice rather than a requirement, and recognizing this opens the door to using sauce sparingly on occasions where it genuinely adds character rather than out of reflex. Here is how your family can approach steak sauce with greater intelligence and better value. First, conduct a blind taste test at home. Purchase a classic mainstream steak sauce, a mid-tier alternative, and one premium option you are curious about. Pour small amounts into identical vessels labeled only by number, invite family members to taste, and record preferences. The results often surprise households and liberate grocery budgets from unexamined premium purchases. Second, consider making steak sauce at home. A basic steak sauce can be assembled in 20 minutes from pantry staples. Tomato paste, Worcestershire sauce, soy sauce, vinegar, a touch of molasses, garlic, pepper, and a pinch of mustard powder, simmered and adjusted to taste, produces a sauce that rivals commercial premium options at pennies per serving. Scale up a batch and refrigerate in a clean jar for weeks of use. Third, read ingredient lists with a critical eye. If the premium steak sauce you are considering lists essentially the same ingredients as the mainstream option, at triple the price, the premium is not earning its cost. Fourth, prioritize the quality of your protein over the quality of your condiment. A $20 difference between premium and mainstream steak sauce across a year of use could instead be invested in better beef, which delivers dramatically more culinary value per dollar than any sauce upgrade could match. Fifth, learn a simple pan sauce technique. After cooking a steak, deglaze the pan with wine or broth, add a pat of butter, reduce briefly, and finish with fresh herbs. This 10-minute technique produces a restaurant-quality sauce at negligible cost and transforms the meal more effectively than any bottle can. Sixth, buy premium bottles selectively for occasions where they matter, such as a special dinner with guests who appreciate the detail. Reserve mainstream options for everyday use, where the sauce is applied generously and the premium nuances would be lost. Seventh, audit your condiment pantry quarterly. Bottles that have been open for more than a few months lose flavor quality, and premium sauces that sit unused represent wasted investment. Keeping fewer, more active condiments in rotation improves both freshness and budget efficiency. You came to this investigation because a thought crossed your mind at the grocery store. You leave with a framework for examining premium food pricing across categories that will serve your family well beyond the steak sauce aisle. The marketing ecosystem surrounding premium condiments has evolved considerably in recent years, with packaging design, brand storytelling, and celebrity associations driving price tags that the ingredients inside cannot always support. Your discernment is the correction this system needs. Several premium steak sauce brands currently retailing at $12 or more do not deliver $12 of culinary value. And recognizing which ones do and which ones do not is a skill worth developing. Share this with the home cooks, the grill masters, and the parents who plan family steak dinners on tight budgets. The best meals are the ones where every ingredient earns its place on the plate, and every dollar spent returns value worth the earning. That careful attention is not just frugality, it is respect for the craft of cooking and for the work that brought those dollars into your hands. Your kitchen is wiser than any marketing campaign. Trust it.